Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Right now, Gen Z is hard time for us. If you go back 250 years, Americans started their revolution in 1775 against the British. The Patriots in Lexington, who were just ordinary people, were forced to fight against the British. 1775, the Battle of Bunker Hill during the Siege of Boston. Then came the Industrial Revolutions, continued through the World War. Then success by attack Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapon. All these created strong men. Then came good times such as high economic growth. Even in present day, there are good times in America which has created weak men, such as those who are called Gen Z, are creating hard times for the world. It all started with internet. In 1983, when internet was made for educational and research communities. But in 1995, for human uses, internet was made public for communication, research, and educational purposes. Now, this Gen Z generation is such generation that has exposure to the internet and digital technology since childhood. And after that, a huge exposure of social media. According to the Leader's Edge report, in the United States, the workplace manager says about Gen Z generation as the most difficult generation. Nowadays, there's a huge unemployment problem in America right now. According to the report, youth unemployment rate has been fluctuating right now and has stood up to 9.1%. This is because this generation lacks discipline, lacks motivation, and lacks focus. The generation that gets easily offended. The generation that has poor communication skills. If this generation has a lot of problems, this is all because of social media. Because social media plays a high role in weakening this generation, mostly serving as a drug. Children who haven't started school yet are using phones, and personally, I have seen such kids haven't learned how to talk yet. This whole generation is highly influenced on social media. According to the report from Chicago, Gen Z generation is highly influenced of Snapchat because of a feature that when you send more than 3 snaps to your friends, it becomes a streak count. And doing this activity will increase your streak counts continuously, but this app never lets you break your stream count. Rewards are none other than just emojis, such as a higher streak gets mountain emoji, more like a drug addiction to maintain your streaks. Also, according to the Chicago report, kids are pressurized because the streaks that they have been maintaining breaks in 24 hours. It has great impact on this generation that 13-year-old girls, obsessed with BTS Army, leaves home for airport to meet BTS Army in South Korea, despite not knowing any basic knowledge about traveling. This concludes that this Gen Z generation do not want to follow people with real followers, and instead they are influenced with celebrities with fake followers. They just want to remain immersed in their lives instead of their own. Even in YouTube, vlogging channels have millions of followers. Not just vloggers and models, but also brands. Our attention is basically a new currency, and these brands exploit our attentions and views. Even betting applications are promoting a lot of influencers, ultimately attracting us to the unholiness of gambling. This generation called Gen Z is the time of meaningless relationships. Because of Tinder, Bumble, and Truly Madly applications. It creates a confusion in our minds because of we are exploring opposite genders, and we have so many options that we are very confused to choose one of them. This is the time where relationships are all about sleeping together in bed, and because of these applications, you are stuck in the loop of casual sex and hookups in the name of dating. In terms of relationship, New terms are introduced such as situationship or benching. The term benching means that there are 4 to 5 opposite genders who you are in relationship with. Since it's not a committed relationship, so you are keeping that person trapped. And that is so common in Gen Z. This generation is not interested in committed relationship because of their obsession with adult series. Truthfully, friends with benefits is termed common in Gen Z. Casual sex is the real reason why most Gen Zs are mostly depressed in the society and have mental illness. Let's say that anyone comes, touches it, and goes away. Most people are depressed and they don't even know why they are depressed, and suffering from bipolar disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and traumatic disorder. Porn is watched by many Gen Zs, and porn addiction is rapidly increasing among youth. Whatever that they watch is 100% different from actual sex, as I said in my previous video. More they consume porn, the more dopamine is released and eventually affects brain just like drugs do. Now let's talk about instant gratification. As you can see in this video, the person slaps the captain inside the plane just because the flight was late. It's really a stupid reason, but flight being late is for safety. There is highly an impatience disease among this youth right now, and in the matter of everything, they need haste. So people of this doomed generation need instant gratification and instant satisfaction. This Gen Z has negative impact on our lives. So for this problem, I have a solution for it. First of all, escapism should not be the only option. It means you take drugs or drink alcohol to escape your problems. What you have to do is to fight against it. Endure it. Focus on your real lives, which will make you strong man and strong woman. Second, limit the use of social media and guard your influence. Also limit the use of phones. It can be compared to the frog that is dropped into the well, and that frog considers it as its own world. And when it gets out of the well and is thrown towards the sea, that frog will realize that this world is so much bigger. So don't ever let your smartphones be your whole world. Whatever you see inside that phone and whatever you see in the outside world are so much different from each other. So limit the use of your phone and see the world from your own perspectives. You have to make changes in your lifestyle to explore something different. And you have to give your health a little priority. What I am trying to say is that Gen Zs lack these things which are beneficial. You have to become mentally strong, and always remember that from those who you are influenced from also have problems in their lives as well. Everyone gets depression, stress, and sometimes tough situations in their lives. Just like I said at the beginning of the video, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So you should not have to become weak man. You have to become strong man by looking at the things from your own perspectives and understand the dark reality of the things around you, and then you can become mentally strong. Prepare for hard times and get stronger.